Friday's breakfast bash. Got Travis joining us. He's going to be presenting sometime very soon, maybe next week, maybe say Wednesday of next week or something. So look forward to that. So what I'd like to do is just take some of the things that we've gone over in some of the previous bashes and string them together into something useful. Ben asked about how should I make these aliases permanent, and how do you get that environment to kind of stick with you no matter where you go. So a couple of different approaches to that. My aliases are in a file called .bash aliases. Okay. And I'm gonna. How does that get run when I log in? Well, your environment is going to run certain scripts when you log in, and you need to make sure that whatever scripts those run, whether it's .profile, maybe .profile runs .bashrc. .bashrc should include the bash aliases file, for example. So that sounds good, but what happens when I move between environments? Like if I go to my home computer versus my work computer or some other place, I want it to be the same everywhere. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but let's assume that I do. Like in olden time, you might have some, maybe you're in a Windows directory where your environment just gets set up with a login script, or maybe you have NFS available to you. Well, more and more, you're not going to have NFS set up, say in DigitalOcean or an Amazon. So what about if we used a Git repository to store your home directory? And what if whenever you logged in, you went and did a Git pull and then say put things in that repository into the places that they go with a little script? Well, that's what we want to demonstrate this morning. So what I've done is I'm going to cd into Brian. So got myself some files that I wanted to be distributed everywhere, and I've got that pushed up to my Git repo host. I think it's Bitbucket. And so those are the files that I want to distribute. Now, how do I get them everywhere? Well, I could have it automatically pull and all those things from within .bashrc, but I don't know if I'm not committed to that yet. So what I've done is I've put a little script in Amazon S3, and I've made that script public. And then one other thing that I've done is I went into Bitly and created a custom URL, custom Bitly link, so that I can use my curl command. You'll need the -L argument to have it follow your redirects, because it's going to redirect from Bitly, which is also j.mp, which is j.mp is the shorter URL for bit.ly. And here's my short link that I've made, SL Brian pull home. And what I'm going to do is, well, first let's just show you what that looks like. So run bash in the bash shell, git clone this thing into my home directory, and rsync from that thing that I just downloaded into my actual home directory, because this is just the name of the repo here. Then remove what I've just downloaded, because it's now, after the rsync, it's in the place where I want it, and then include the bash rc file. So I'm going to pipe that. So all I've done is, by curling it, I'm just showing what it is, pulling it down from S3. Now I want to actually pipe it to a shell. Yeah, Bitbucket would hang up while I'm doing a video. Okay, so something happened. Let's look at my home directory. // is your home directory. And I want to just look at the date on my .bash rc file. Yeah, so it was just barely updated. So all that must have happened. And maybe it was included. I assumed that it was because of the dot. Dot means include. So that's a trick. Dot space the file that I want to include. So let's see if it, let's cat.bash rc. So what that file is export my path. I want to add my home /bin directory, and I also want to include my Deis controllers and also my bash aliases. So let's see if it did that. What I'm going to do is type alias to show all my aliases, and I'm not going to show you all of my aliases, just the ones that have to do with Deis. Our grep command that we talked about will find just the lines that have the word Deis. Woohoo! So I should be able to type, for example, dctl08. Well, and let's just tab. So yeah, in fact, tab completion, not only does it know about files in your current directory, files or executables in your path, but also about your aliases. So I'm able to tab complete and see that my several aliases of dctl0 something are in there. The Deis control command is not installed on this machine, but that gives you an idea of how to bring it together with using several of the different technologies that we've talked about, and with this, so now I can go onto any machine and curl that bit.ly file, which is in S3, run it, pull down my home directory from Bitbucket, and have my environment be, kind of the same everywhere. Of course, if you already have pre-existing files, some nuances could happen. It might be different, so you just need to be aware of that. Of course, you could do like a remove, $home/* and make it exactly the same, but that's probably not what you want. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this, could make use of it, and have a good weekend.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks.
Hey, Brian, are we being recorded?
I'm turning it off.